Yo, what's good, YouTube, man? Welcome back to the channel, man. I'm on this channel on the tube, man. I'm on this team, crew, family, and community on the tube, man. Listen, today we got an interesting video. We got black people anonymously answering 7 burning questions. And before I get into the video, I want to say I wasn't really planning on making a video today. I just seen this video on my timeline or whatever you want to call it on YouTube, and I thought it would be an interesting video. Like I always say, man, I don't want to be the type of YouTuber that only react to a certain type of videos. I want to be able to react to everything, and y'all fucking with my personality instead of the videos that I watch. You get what I'm saying? So I'm gonna be switching up videos like that here and there. So that's why I just want to get that brief message out there. But like I said, I wanted to be a part of these 7 burning questions. You know what I'm saying? I like to learn new stuff every day, so that's why I react to different type of videos. But yeah, let's get into it, man. I don't want to talk too much. Y'all know how I be. I be talking forever. But let's get into
their identities and ask them all.
Soto. Mask off. Y'all can probably read if y'all want to.
In an age of call-outs, culture wars, and perfect facades, people can be afraid to express how they really feel. So we brought together 7 strangers, protected their identities, and asked them all 7 burning audience questions. What will be revealed when we take the mask off?
Mask off. Fuck it, mask off. Black
your answer
people.
is yes, you'll turn your light on. Fuck the police.
Yes. Yes.
I know that there are quote unquote good cops, but
listen, this is a video. I want you guys to be open-minded. If you're really watching this, I want you guys to be open-minded. If you give an answer, if you playing along, if you give an answer, I want you to be open-minded and listen to the other people's answers, so we can get a perspective of both people, for both sides. You know what I'm saying? Not just be one-sided, be open-minded. Let's get into it.
Are working in an entire force with individuals who are essentially mostly racist, and where police come from, the history of it with being the sheriffs of slaves and tracking down slaves using dogs or whatever they're using. It's just wearing that badge. It's just, you're never.
But me personally, I could say that I never experienced. I said this in a video before, but I never experienced, racism from, quote unquote, Karens or polices. I'm just the type of person to where, like, if you even feeling some type of way towards me and I don't know you, like, I'm not gonna care. Like, I got my mind on other stuff that needs my focus. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and go back and forth with somebody because they feel like I'm parked in the wrong spot and I'm in a handicap. Like, fuck all that. Like, I'm not with all that. I'll annoy your ass so bad, like, it'd be crazy
for us, and we never feel safe for that reason. So the only reason why I can't fully say that, like he just said, there are some good out there, and personally having a cousin who is a police officer, but everything else behind that and all of the other people who introduce,
but it is some good cops out there though,
pretty much mentality to it. It's them for sure.
All right, we're gonna have everyone join the conversation.
I don't really feel anything towards this statement because I haven't had any encounters with police, like, ever.
Why do you have to have a personal experience? Why can't you just look at the damage that has been done?
It's different because I feel like I feel the weight of my
in
certain situations.
And you feel for the people that the police, quote unquote, kill on GTA. You feel for that, but for me, it's like it hasn't happened to me. And I feel like if I just keep the attitude that I have, just the mindset that I have, like, I won't even come across nothing like that. Or if I even feel like somebody trying to be a Karen or trying to be racist, like, I troll back with them. Like, I'll be like, you know what I'm saying? Just keeping the conversation, like, on an even playing field. You know what I'm saying? Like, they say something smart back, I won't say nothing exactly smart, but I'll say something that's a good comeback for that, and it'll just be like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I agree with them just for them to get out my face. You feel what I'm saying?
Situations in other areas of my life than I do with the police.
Okay, this is not me taking away from the black community in general, because police are always targeting us, but I find it interesting that only the black men had agreed with that.
I'm like on the fence with it because I know that there are black cops out there that are truly trying to protect and serve, and I really don't know what I would do if we completely destroyed the police system. I would be scared because it's like, okay, well, I don't believe that is the solution, but yes, black men have that main encounter with the police, and sometimes it's annoying because it's like, okay, is this the only cause that y'all care about, is police brutality? But yeah, it's halfway with me.
I think feelings do become more intense though once you
and when people say,
honestly,
no, definitely.
So like, you know,
like when black people kill another black person, why you don't be mainstream like that? Like you don't be mainstream like that if a white police kill a black person. You feel what I'm saying? Like, I get what she's saying with that. I do. I'm gonna try not to pause too much because it's been 15 minutes.
Down in Texas, I had bought guns for the first time, registered them, followed everything to the T, and then still get pressed up against the side of my car like I did something wrong when I did it the exact way that y'all said I had to do it. That experience right there, my dad's situation started it, and then my situation is what finalized it.
Are Asians racist towards you?
No. I would say no.
I have a neighbor who is very privileged. She's married to a white man. She's Asian, and I feel like that comes a lot nowadays in America. I feel like Asian women are trying to be the white woman of America, and they're not realizing that they're also in marginalized communities just as we are.
Especially
and I never encountered
that are born into American culture. It seems like they're just pretty much white and they don't have any empathy for other minorities.
I have had negative interactions with like Asian people or like other people because I'm black and because colorism is a thing. But I've also had like
I love Asian people. I ain't never had no encounter with it.
It's just a very generalized term.
I know it happens, of course, but me personally, I have not experienced racism from the Asian community. I do totally agree with the idea of colorism because it does seem like the darker you are, the quote uglier you are in any ethnicity, which does suck.
It's some bad dark females out there, man. Y'all tripping.
And that's on anybody that comes, no matter where you come from, what background. When you get to America and you spend a couple of years here, you start to see how things are done, whether they're right or wrong. You see how things are done, how black people are treated, how white people are treated. So a little bit after I left the military, I spent a couple of years in Malaysia, Singapore, Indonesia, and South Korea. These places were places where I was accepted more so than back home. It was shocking to me to not be followed around in stores in South Korea. It was shocking to me to not be treated or even looked at the same way I would be walking down the street in certain places here.
Okay. I have dated outside my race.
Yes.
In my past dating history, I feel like, I tasted the rainbow pretty much. Like, I dated East Asian man.
Yeah, we know what that means. We know what that means, chat. She tastes the rainbow.
It's different. Like, you're never going to find somebody outside of your race that's going to 100% understand you, understand your struggle, understand your family, why you do things the way that you do. When I'm dating them, I know it's going to be different, and I feel that's kind of like why
But, like, why would you even think about that? Like, if you date outside your race, why are you thinking about how their culture is and how your culture is? But, I mean, like, I guess, like, since it's, like, I'm the type to be open-minded, I like to... Like, if I'm dating outside my race, I like to explore their culture, explore how they do stuff. I would want to learn how they do stuff. You feel what I'm saying? So when it comes to dating outside my race, I don't think about, like, what's going to be different, what she not used to or what I'm not used to from her side. You feel what I'm saying? Like, I don't think
the fact of even doing that.
I don't think that I would necessarily date a white person. I just feel like there's a disconnect. But
I
as
feel
long
like
as,
I couldn't marry a white person,
have those
but I could
conversations
date
with me and understand like my blackness. I want to have those conversations with them, and I don't mind what their race is. I think for me, it's just all about my comfort level with you and how much I can relate. And like he said, I think a white woman would be like at the bottom of the totem pole just because we don't have that much to connect on. But I'm not opposed
That's
to
why
it.
you gotta make the
I
connection.
would just kind of
You feel
rather
what I'm saying?
work with something that I know there's a lot of
Put her on you, bro.
compatibility
Put her
with.
on what you like to do.
I'm not opposed to dating outside my race, but in terms of marriage, I would love to marry a black man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Think about our
Yeah,
ancestors.
see?
Like they're probably
Yeah, we on
saying
the
our
same
grave.
page.
They're doing great. Like they're like, what are you doing? Like we've done so much, and you want to be with this
Yeah.
white person or this non-black person?
I've never dated outside of my race, but maybe I should because a lot of black men tend to go to non-black
Because they can
women.
control them.
Yes, and because
I mean,
my race, but maybe I should because a lot of black men tend to go to non-black
Because they
women.
can control them.
I don't agree with that. I don't agree men go to outside their race so they can be able to control them. That just means that you're being controlled. When you're the man, you supposed to be in control, not making her do it. Like not control like school, like they can like how school control people like students and shit. Not that kind of control. Control is to where like she listening to you, she's submissive to you. You feel what I'm saying? Like I see that's why I was saying I like watching videos like that because you never know what people say and you can dig into it and go deeper. But to talk about that, he said black men change like they outside their race so they can be able to control them. I'm talking about just how he's thinking. I feel like they told me what type of person he is. He's the type of person that will let the woman dominate him just because she's quote unquote the black woman, a black woman. Where it's like if you make her follow your rules, you make her follow your blueprint, you'll be good. You can control her. Like I said, not in a manipulative way, it's a submissive way. Females, y'all get what I'm saying. If that makes any sense.
Yes, and because
They're easier.
and because they
I don't
have
think that-
European features.
I don't think that like a man can control any woman. Like if she follows suit to him, like he'll be able to. He can tell her what to do without actually telling her what to do. You feel what I'm saying? So like they just told me what type of men these people are.
Softer hair.
Ain't nothing wrong
They
with it.
like
They
the
can-
Kim
they just don't know that they
Kardashian
don't know.
woman.
Exactly.
You know, you want the black woman aesthetic, but you need the European features. So maybe I should date outside of my race, but I personally, like you said, I want to build with the black man. I want to have black children.
Yeah.
That's what I want to do. But with this generation of black men, I don't know if it's possible.
Me
Stop
having
the
sex
cap,
with a
bro.
white
You
man
just
is
looking for the
it's
wrong
master
niggas.
aspect. It's the buck breaking history. If you know.
Butt breaking, an alleged act of publicly punishing a male slave, typically the first flogging him. What? Sexual assaulting or raping him in front of the other slaves in order to humiliate him. What the fuck? Buck breaking. I never heard of this.
You know what buck breaking is, it's all of that combined, and then the idea of most times, even in heterosexual relationships, it's usually a fetish for the individual to be with you. It's either because you have a nice body or your skin is so dark and lovely, or because you have, you know, the tool that they want. You know what I'm talking about?
I don't know what you're talking about, Wayne.
Yeah, in general, it's always something on your body that they want. And if it's genuinely true love, that can happen. But for the most part, I just think interracial dating is disgusting.
I felt
it's
oppressed
him.
by my own community.
Hold on.
I felt oppressed by my own community.
I felt oppressed by my own community. I don't really understand that. I want to know what that means.
I actually sometimes feel very uncomfortable in spaces full of black people. If you're not desirable as a black woman, if you're not desirable to men, then you tend to get overlooked. I have to work my ass off for things that I want. Black men, cis hetero black men specifically, they oppress all of us. And it sucks because I want to be with a black man, but it's like I have to try to appeal.
Oppressed. I guess oppressed means overlooked. Hey Siri, what does oppressed mean?
Dutch word A-P-P-R-E. Oppress means keep someone in subservience and hardship, especially by the unjust exercise of authority.
Oh, to feel distress, cause someone to feel distress, anxiety, or uncomfortable. Oh, okay. 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 So, that means they saying, do other black people make you feel, anxiety? And when people get anxiety around crowds, people feel uncomfortable around crowds, it's because they get overlooked, or some girls not attractive as some other girls, or some guys are not attractive like some other guys. So certain people get overlooked. That's why certain people feel anxiety when they go outside. They don't like be around crowds. Okay, so I get what they saying. I hope y'all learned something new today.
I'm gay and I'm also black.
I had a feeling.
Within the black community, I feel like, again, when we go to these protests, when we go out to these clubs or parties, and I'm in heterosexual spaces, I feel like, he's black, but like he's gay, so we can't really mess with him. Like, he can't really be in our space. And it's like, how is this your space that you claim over a sexuality and a sexual preference, essentially, rather than us being the same race?
Yeah, of course. Like you were saying, like if you're in the LGBTQ community, it's intersectionality. So people are more cool with me if I'm passing and they see me as like a cis black guy versus if they know I'm trans.
In terms of
trans,
my experience, I feel like maybe black people were gatekeeping opportunities, or like trying to be super stingy, or trying to be the token black person, and not really. They kind of like bully other black people and making them be like, you don't deserve to be in my space. Like, this is my zone. This is the area that I'm working in.
So they got,
and it's kind of like they're trying to keep other black people from being
different kind of
like,
black
I feel like
people.
I've seen that a lot.
All black people
like
the same. They probably
too.
got females, some straight.
When I was living in Mississippi,
so
I was around predominantly black people. I didn't feel any different. But so now that I'm back here in California and I'm around, other races, like in Mississippi, happened to me before too. When I was living in Mississippi, I was around predominantly black people. I didn't feel any different. But now that I'm back here in California,
I feel like
I'm around,
she one of those type people
like,
that was, paid attention to. She probably thick. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. She probably thick. She probably look good. So that's why she feel like she don't. That's why she disagreed to this question.
I can see why this could be considered colorist, or I can see how in this situation maybe I'm feeling, like I'm not as worthy as these other people. But I just couldn't use the word oppressed really to describe how my experiences have went.
Have you ever wished you weren't black?
No. I love being black. Really, Jasmine?
Like, I want to say, record straight, I love myself now. Like, I love being a black woman. But, like, for so long, because of also family members feeding into the whole idea of, like, oh, you're so pretty because you're lighter. For so long, as a child, I associated being black as being something that was a bad thing, because I saw how people that were darker than me were treated. And I was just like, I don't want to be this anymore. But, I mean, with a lot of love.
So just the trauma that made her want to be a different race.
And hard
trauma and the shit that going on outside.
Was like, being black is honestly the best thing ever.
It is, no kill.
We lit.
It's a caramel black.
I just feel like we're lit, and I get where that comes from.
Oh, God, Will.
And that happens a lot in our community. And I just feel like if we all just accepted
everybody be straight
more, we would just be great.
We'll be
like when I was younger, I moved to like a town that was like predominantly like white and Hispanic. I never felt like specifically like, I wish I wasn't black, but I did like look at other people and say, I wish I had hair like them. I wish I looked more like them.
Like, I love being the race that I am, but having 4C hair and having darker knuckles, darker kneecaps, especially in elementary school and middle school.
From where black people came from originally, and then going through slavery, and now we down there dominating everything. Sports, music, TV, like every fucking thing. We dominating everything. like black people been through so much, bro, and I just hate the fact that they don't teach what we was before slavery, like what was we like in Africa, like what happened before the Native Americans came over and took us. You feel what I'm saying? They don't teach that. So from us coming from that to this, then to that again, like we came a long way. So if you black, appreciate your race, man. Ain't nothing like for me. I don't have a problem with no other race because I don't be worried about no other race. Like I don't even see different races. I do, but you know what I'm saying, not in that kind of way. It just whatever you are, you're perfect. You're meant to be who you are. You're meant to be black. You're meant to be white. You're meant to be a Mexican. You're meant to be whatever. You know what I'm saying? Embrace yourself, love yourself, and just appreciate everything that you got right now. Like it's other people in worse situations. You feel what I'm saying? So appreciate yourself, appreciate the things around you, and just love yourself, man. If you black, stand up, man. Be proud, bro.
Getting through that was really hard. Now at this age, I'm learning to accept all parts of me, but I still battle with it like every day.
There were times where I maybe wish that I wasn't Black American, that maybe I wish I was an African woman or Brazilian, because I feel like Black Americans, like we kind of were disconnected from our African roots and our heritage.
Yeah,
and that
I feel
part kind
that.
of hurts because it's like we don't really have much to call our own besides like Ebonics or AAVE.
African
But
American. Oh, okay. So like just the way we speak.
Black American culture has ultimately set the tone for a lot of modern day pop culture too, so I'm proud of that part as well.
Yeah, I feel what you said.
I would raise my kids differently than my parents raised me.
I would not necessarily raise them different, but give them a different lifestyle. I would give them a different lifestyle, but raise them the same way. Work for what you want. Don't be lazy. You need to talk to somebody, come talk to me. Be a hard working, whatever it is you want to do, make sure you focus on it. Learn something new every day. Like, I like that question.
If you haven't had an experience with whether sexual abuse or some type of violence in your home, you are lucky in the Black community because it happens to so many of us. And I feel like with me experiencing that growing up, I would never beat my child. I don't want to have to feel like beating my child is a resource or a source of
it's not really
respecting me. I want them to know about mental health and take their mental health actually serious, because we don't take it serious in the Black community at all.
I love that you mentioned that specifically about mental health because it's something you can't talk about in our community sometimes. It's like, well, what's wrong with you? Like, are you crazy? I'm gonna whoop your tail. Like, you shouldn't be acting this way. I give you everything. You have no reason to be depressed. I don't want to reciprocate that onto my children, and I don't want them to feel like if they're feeling depressed, if they're feeling overwhelmed, I don't want them to think they can't come to me and talk about it. My parents, they didn't have that opportunity to communicate with their parents because they were raised in a completely different generation. So now, like, I see my mom was, raising me this way because that's what she's used to, but I'm going to cut it off with my line.
Well, our kids are probably going to be like, yeah, I ain't doing that. When I have my kids, like each generation gets wiser and they learn something else or have resources to something else. So I just want to always...
See, that's why you got to be open-minded, because you're making a point.
I've already acknowledged them and addressed the bad things with them, but now I can forgive and let it go and just highlight what they did do right and kind of mix that with my own.
With your own, yeah, exactly.
I can't
exactly what I
be
said.
honest about who I am.
What you mean? I don't get
Being
it.
Black, like if I'm in a white space, I'm like constantly like, how am I?
I can't be
off?
honest about who I am. I'm guessing that means like you not comfortable telling like how your lifestyle is, what you doing on a day-to-day basis. Shit, I'm gonna let you know. I'm letting you know. Somebody ask me, I'm letting them know. I don't care. See, that's why I say I'm the type that don't care what nobody thinks, and I feel like I appreciate myself so much for being that way from day one. I don't care what nobody say. So you the type that I always care about what other people say. Like, you shouldn't. Like, people gonna have their opinions. People gonna have their opinions if you're doing something good, if you're doing something bad. You don't supposed to care. You don't live in the world to care about nobody else but yourself. You feel what I'm saying? And then to a certain point, you gotta care for your kids or whatever, wife, husband, but don't care about opinions. That doesn't matter. If it's not making you money, if it not letting you sleep better, like, don't care about it. You feel what I'm saying?
Off. But a lot of times for me, it's like, you know, in terms of being trans, also, like, how am I walking? How am I talking? How am I being received? Do these people, are they speaking at me or looking at me like they're comfortable with me? And it's just pretty tiring sometimes when I'm around other people and I'm constantly checking myself.
Since we're in the age of like cancel culture, it's just really easy. I feel like if even if you want to be honest, it's like sometimes you can because you have like a fear of getting canceled or fear of people like lashing out on you. And I feel like in certain senses like that, I can't be completely honest in terms of like my views on certain things just because of like how people are going to react.
It takes a lot for a person to be themselves and fully own their identity, no matter who you are or what you are. So living in that, I've learned to own that, and I'm always blunt. I'm always me. What you see is what you get. If you got a problem, you can leave. So yeah.
It's exhausting to try to defend yourself all the time about who you are, but at the end of the day, I sleep better at night knowing that I'm just me.
You sleep way better knowing who you are, bro. And if you let people know who you are, bro, you're gonna be a better person. Not if you don't give a fuck. You'll be a completely different person. Like, don't care. Just don't care. But if you enjoyed the video, man, like I did, hit the subscribe button, man. Hit the like button. Road to 150, man. I love y'all. I appreciate every single person that's watching the video, that's subscribing. You know what I'm saying? I just appreciate y'all. But I love y'all, man. Make sure y'all stay safe, stay blessed, stay positive. I love y'all, man. Not rolling up.